punters, here we go. Another day, another video. So this one's taken a while. Possibly a few issues have come to light. So as part of my challenge of being over 50, trying to find that way to the 5 watts per kilo. Here we go. So today, been sick. Yes, had a bit of a flu for the last few days. And that's off the back of also having surgery. Surgery happened about 4 weeks ago on my shoulder. That's come good. We're okay. So the surgery is successful. We're not, we've got a fully fledged arm yet. But, sorry, as I just adjust myself to get an understanding of what's going on with the Zwift that I just turned on. So just trying to lock out the big spin here. Get my last big spin and complete one of these challenges. Oh, there we go, it's back. So it's a little bit lost, as Zwift sometimes is. Anyhow, so challenges, as you can hear, and you'll probably hear small children in the background. And also, because I'm in Brisbane, there's always the sound of some power tool being utilised on a weekend, lawnmower. Even though it's hammering down with rain today, someone is still cutting wood. I don't know why. Anyway, getting back to my problems. So, here's the story. I had surgery. That's all good. Okay, we haven't made many videos, been a bit slack, whatever. Okay, other things have been going on organising my life. So, what's actually happened of late is that my left knee decided to go out in some sort of sympathy with the left side of my body, which is also the same side that my shoulder was repaired on. And it's causing me a great deal of discomfort. So just to give that some context, some 32 years ago, playing rugby league, I first damaged that leg quite badly, multiple tears, and of course back in the day then, it wasn't the same surgery techniques that we had. So keyhole surgery wasn't a real thing. Repair or knee reconstruction involved cutting your knee open on 3 sides, basically about 8 or 9 inches long. So it was a pretty horrendous sort of operation, and it's probably something that I should have had done straight away. So because of probably the total fear of what I've seen on other people who had knee reconstruction at the time, I kind of steered away from having it. And I did have an arthroscope at the time, and we just got on with it. We were young enough and got on with life. However, this damn knee has been a bit of a bane of my existence, to be honest. So let's just count the surgeries out. So there's one. So somewhere in my mid-20s, I believe it decided to finally give up the ghost. I believe I was playing tennis at the time, and we had it reconstructed. So there's 2 surgeries. After the reconstruction, it went along pretty well, if I'm honest. And then in 2010, I touched a wheel in Adelaide on Military Road, which resulted in me basically going headfirst into what is called a Stobie pole. If you don't know what a Stobie pole is, they're not the nicest things to hit. They're basically steel beams of concrete in the middle, and I hit one of those almost point blank at 45 kilometres an hour, and it did a little bit of damage. But basically, if we talk about the knee, the damage it did to the knee was it kind of ripped the end of my femur off on one side, and it just shattered it. So kind of a break, but not snapped in two. The sort of ball part on the bottom part of your femur was kind of just destroyed. So the result of that was that it kind of shattered and sent bone fragments through the knee. And the result of that outcome was that we ended up having, I think at the time, from the accident directly related, some surgery where they pulled out as much as they could find. That was followed up a couple of years later with further surgery to continue that same type of operation, just basically clean up, remove what bone they could find. And then I had to have it done again to pick out more bits of bone fragment. So think I lost count how many surgeries on one knee. So it's 5 anyway. And okay, so it was working reasonably well. It was kind of one of those injuries where I didn't want to apply too much thought to it. Out of sight, out of mind, maybe. Maybe a bit of mind over matter if I didn't, sit there dwelling on it. However, obviously as I'm getting older, with average diet, way too much alcohol consumption, and all those things that we do to ourselves in life, it kind of helped arthritis get set in pretty badly. And hence, I'm suffering a bit from it at the moment, so I haven't ridden the bike since Tuesday, and it's not very comfortable at the moment. I'm only 2.8 kilometres into a ride, so let's hope it warms up and feels a bit better. Anyhow, so this issue of the knee and the arthritis, because of cycling, probably has prolonged its existence, as in the life of the knee somewhat. It's obviously allowed me to build up a reasonable muscle bulk around the knee joint, keep it stable. And it wasn't really until about, well, I think it's 3 years ago now, I did a Audax ride around Brisbane, and we got to about 380 kilometres into the ride, which is 20 kilometres from the finish, and the knee finally said I've had enough. So that was nice to know that we had a limit, but then, it calmed down pretty quickly. Hasn't really been a problem. However, for reasons unknown, since I've had surgery and have been in recovery, it's just gone wonky, I think partly due to I haven't been able to stretch properly because of limitations through the shoulder. I know that sounds odd, but it doesn't allow me to get into a good position to do an ITB stretch or something. Anyhow, if anybody has any ideas on how we should deal with this, let me know. I mean, diet, whatever the intervention may be. I did, through the week, acquire some anti-inflammatories. That's not because I think that's a fix. It's a temporary solution, and the reality is I have to go overseas in about 3 weeks, which will involve a lot of walking, and currently at the moment walking is a little bit of a bother. So we'll try anything just to get through it, and then once that's done, we'll look at what the next steps are. My immediate thoughts would be to undertake a PRP treatment. I have had that one previous, and it was about 2 years ago, so it really kind of lines up with, you need to get them done every couple of years, depending on your body, depending who you are. So I think that'll be the first course of action. Then after that, we'll see how that goes, and maybe we'll need to go see a specialist. I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be a point in my life where it'll need to be replaced, the knee joint that is. But 52 coming into 53, it'd be good if we can at least hold that off for another 7 years or 8 years or whatever it may be. Yeah, so that's where we're at today. So we've got a new problem. Of course, if I go to the my Strava profile, my fitness level has declined massively, so I have been in a massive decline. So I'm not too perturbed by that because of the circumstances, and I expect that we'll gather our fitness back pretty quickly, as long as we can actually ride. It seems that doing 300 kilometres a week, or even 200 at the moment, is currently slightly problematic. Anyhow, so all part of another recovery. Yeah, on top of that, we got the flu. So my point of today, or my reason for riding the bike right now, is feel a bit better today. And the old story, how much science is backing this, I don't know, but you just need to sweat it out. So hence that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to go hard. I won't be going past, well, probably I'm at my max already, probably doing way too many watts. I probably should bring that back to about 180. We'll get a bit of a sweat on, see how the knee feels after doing 20 minutes, and that may be that. The other thought moving forward possibly is crank length. Should I change it? I do have a bike, well this one, not sure if we can see that, it has 170 cranks on. I've always ridden 172 and a half, but if it's going to be better, we may as well. I do actually enjoy riding the 170 crank. I just haven't got around to sort of covering it or adding it to all my bikes. Obviously, they don't come for nothing. I'll make one more point. Actually, no, I covered that already. But yeah, apologies for the sweat, but we've got no fans on, just to try and help the sweat build up. It's not super hot today because of the weather. It is quite humid, and this is where we sit currently in my man cave. 25.5 degrees at 83% humidity. So 20 minutes of this, I should see a bit of sweat come out. So anyway, you can probably hear the young fella getting wound up now. We managed to keep him pretty quiet, but until next time, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I look forward to any comments, any thoughts you may have. How we get an old bugger with a dodgy knee up to 5 watts per kilo. Thanks guys.